Hi, I'm Cietta Gower, a grant manager with the Office of Community Development. In this section, we are going to break down additional items that need to be included as part of your application. Section 3F of the guidebook provides details on including maps, the engineer's cost estimate, and the Fair Housing Ordinance or Resolution. We'll start with project maps. A project location map must be included as part of your application. Your project should be drawn on a map of the project service area. The reviewer should be able to understand the proposed project by using the written project summary and the illustrated project map. The project map is expected to be sufficiently detailed to show the specific boundaries of the project service area, the essential components of the system being improved or constructed, railroads, highways, interstates, and municipalities. You may also submit supplemental blueprints or larger maps to show the project details. Remember, the project map must not exceed 11 by 17. As part of the application, you must submit a FEMA-issued floodplain map. The exact location of the project must be drawn on the floodplain map. Include on your map the essential components of the system being improved or constructed. You can obtain a FEMA-issued floodplain map by calling FEMA at 800-358-9616 or by using the FEMA website listed on the slide or in the guidebook. If you are conducting an income survey to determine low to moderate income in a project service area, you must include in your application an income survey map. The income survey map must be large enough to clearly identify all households in the project service area. You must identify all households that have higher income, lower income, those who provide no response, and those units that are vacant. You must also identify all non-residential buildings in the project service area. Non-residential buildings can include businesses, schools, churches, government buildings, barns, sheds, and utility buildings. An income survey map is not necessary for a community-wide survey. To help the reviewer identify the structures on your income survey map, you must use the key listed on the slide and in the guidebook. Multi-unit residential buildings. Buildings with independent kitchens, dining areas, buildings like an apartment complex, a duplex or townhome, retirement centers or apartments, or homeless supportive housing, must be identified on the income survey map. Provide the number of units on the income survey map, as well as if they are higher, lower, no response, or vacant units, and include the number of units as part of the total number of households on the income survey worksheet. All households identified on the income survey map must total and match exactly to the numbers listed on the income survey worksheet. Keep in mind that the total households in the service area should equal the higher income, lower income, and no response units on both the map and the worksheet. The total households surveyed should equal the higher income and lower income units on both the map and the worksheet. Residential buildings like nursing homes, homeless shelters, college dorms that are located in your project service area should be identified on your income survey map but not counted as individual residential units. You do not need to survey each of these units. Obtain a letter from the facility administrator that verifies the facility serves low-income residents and meets the HUD definition of a facility with a shared kitchen and dining area. The letter must include the number of residents in the facility. Then on line 14 of the income survey worksheet, make a notation regarding the facility in your service area and add the number of residents to the total on line 14. This is the estimate of total number of LMI persons in your service area. Remember, retirement apartments where residents have their own kitchen and dining area are not nursing homes, and each household should be surveyed and recorded individually. If you include maps that are larger than 8.5 by 11, these should be placed at the back of the application. Number them according to where they are located or placed at the back of the application. Then provide those later page numbers on the application submission checklist under Project Maps page number. The next inclusion we will talk about is the engineer's cost estimate. One of the fundamental pieces of the application is the engineer's cost estimate. This document holds vital information to help the reviewer understand the proposed project. It is important that this document is complete. It must be included in the application. It must be on the engineer's company letterhead. It must include the engineer's name, and it must be dated with the date of the estimate. The date of the estimate must be less than 1 year old from the date the application is due. The engineer's cost estimate must contain a detailed breakdown of costs. The engineer's cost estimate must match the CDBG working cost estimate. Do not include any contract costs for which CDBG funds are not used. Do not include any miscellaneous, contingency, or other ineligible costs. Cost must not be grossly inflated. The engineer's cost estimate is so essential that the department reserves the right to designate an application as do not fund and to not complete the rest of the application review if the engineer's cost estimate is not included, if it is not on company letterhead, if it does not contain the engineer's name, if it is not dated, if it is more than 1 year old from the date the application is due, if it does not contain a detailed breakdown of cost, or if it contains grossly inflated costs. The final inclusion we will discuss is the Fair Housing Resolution. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is the funding source for the CDBG program. Therefore, all CDBG grantees are required to administer their project in a manner that affirmatively furthers equal opportunity and fair housing. All applicants are required to provide a copy of their Fair Housing Resolution or Ordinance. If you do not have a Fair Housing Resolution or Ordinance, you must adopt one and provide a copy as part of your application. Applicants must also post fair housing posters and make HUD fair housing complaint forms available to the public.